Today is Wednesday, October 18th, 2017. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor Season 35, Episode 4.
That's right. Thankfully, the episodes in the week are tracking this time. Week 4, Episode 4. Okay, this episode was titled, I Don't Like Having Snakes Around. That was spoken by Devon. We're glad you joined us here at the Survivor Fans Podcast, a.k.a. SFP. We do 3 shows a week. This is our recap show right after the episode airs. Joanne and I go in, break it down, we paint all the broad strokes, we give some of our observations and predictions, then we interview the castaway who just got voted out, or castaways in the event that multiples go, on Thursday and get that episode out to you, and then Saturday we turn the show back over to you, the super fans, and give you a chance to prognosticate and elucidate with regards to what's happened in this episode and what you think we may can expect next. Why are you shaking your head?
Just you.
You had enough of me today? Is that it? Okay, previously on Survivor, over at the Heroes Camp, Chrissy and Ben, they got it going on. It's running. They're running with it. They got the show by the reins. Over at the Healers Camp, well, Jessica and Cole, or Jess and Cole, what's the combo name for that? J. Cole? Jess Cole? Moving on.
Let's just leave them where they are.
Moving on. Jess and Cole are loving life.
Anything, it would be J. Cole.
Okay. And then at the Hustlers Camp, Patrick and Lauren are squaring off. All right. Now you can't let go of it. Over at the Hustlers Camp, Patrick and Lauren are squaring off, and Patrick is swimming with the Survivor fishes. He lost that one. Okay, it's day 9. None of this foo-foo after tribal council stuff.
Reward challenge and a swap.
Yeah, drop your buffs. So come in for the challenge. And then the editors are saying, you know, that stuff, whatever they talked about, not going to matter. Because we're shuffling. Shuffle. So it doesn't matter how you're feeling. Mm-hmm. Though,
I mean, who was really surprised?
Oh, you don't think Chrissy was surprised? The faces
Patrick
that she made?
Gone.
No, the face when he said drop your buffs.
Well, that too. Man, she made the biggest face when she saw Patrick.
Well, they did get several reactions, but I really think the drop your buffs face was bigger.
No, it wasn't. You
and then
confused.
Ashley was right there with her. She was following her lead. And you know what? It worked. Chrissy got a little quick confessional out of all that mugging. So, yeah, she made the big face, and they gave her a spot to make a comment.
It works.
Yep. Okay, you want to break down the new tribes here?
The Blue Tribe, or Levu. Is that how they say it? Levu?
Yeah, I think so.
Close enough. Ashley, Alan, Desi, Joe, and Devon. Yellow Tribe, or Soko. Ryan, Allie, Roark, JP, and Chrissy. And the new Red Tribe, or Yawa, is
Which
Jessica.
confused the heck out of Joanne the whole
He said
episode
yellow,
through.
Yellow.
No, Yawa. That's the Red Tribe, not the Yeller
I
Tribe.
got that after a while.
No, you didn't.
I did too.
Okay.
It took a while, I admit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think by tribal council you had it.
Yawa,
you had it straight.
It's Jessica, Mike, Cole, Ben, and Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
So, what tribe do you think has the advantage?
What tribe has the advantage at this point when you're just looking at it?
When you're just looking at it.
This initial shuffle.
Yes. Who would you think would have the advantage?
Cole, Ben.
No.
That's some good power. That's not the answer you were looking for.
No.
You got Mike on puzzles.
Ashley, Alan, Desi, Joe, and Devon.
You mean
all physically fit?
You didn't classify how you were asking what your criteria was. Okay, so physically they should have been a powerhouse team. Yeah.
I just thought that was obvious at a glance. You know, just to all the people, the men and the women
Okay.
that were strong and
Gotcha.
physically fit.
Devon's a little worried. We find out eventually, even though they didn't check in with him, because like Roark and Ben, they're onesies on their tribes. So we get to hear Ben and Roark actually say that they're worried after that in little quick confessionals. Okay, you ready to move on to the award challenge after we got our new tribes here?
Sure.
So we got 3 castaways from each of the new tribes attached to a rope that's been braided. These are always fun because the castaways have to jump over. They have to untangle it, to unbraid it. They're like over and under and jumping past each other.
You have
and
to go through hoops.
If things, yeah, aren't you clever?
I know it.
Clever girl.
I can't help it.
All right.
Okay, so, and then they have to get the pieces and solve the puzzle.
Mm-hmm. Pull that sled.
Ugh.
So this was a tough one, but what did you think about what they got?
Awesome. Food is always awesome.
Jelly time. Peanut butter
I mean, it's
jelly
nice
time.
that they got food to satisfy themselves immediately, but they got food to last a while. That was a huge jar
And
of
it was
peanut butter
all
and jelly.
or nothing. Yeah, and a big old
lot
thing of milk.
bread.
Yeah, right. Wasn't that milk? Wasn't a big
didn't
jug of
see
milk,
milk.
beside the peanut butter
Oh,
and jelly?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, and then a bag of what we call potato chips here in the States, but in other parts of the world they call crisps. And one of those bags has got something special in it we'll talk about in just a second. Okay, so we get to watch these castaways
ahead.
dancing. Foreshadowing
I
to
see.
build tension.
Oh, I see.
Dancing
It's
over.
foreshadowing when you do.
Yeah, you're catching on.
Got it.
13 years, I think you got it.
All right.
Dancing over and under the ropes to untangle them. So Ben and Lauren and Cole doing pretty good there. First to untangle. They really they found a rhythm, didn't they?
Yeah.
And Joe and Alan and Ashley were just struggling. They seemed to struggle at every stage of the
stage.
award challenge. They just couldn't get it.
Here I thought.
Get it going
what?
at all.
Blue Tribe they're just not working well together.
JP got there first and got started trying to lasso the sled, but Ben, he nailed it. They ended up pulling it in, even though it was Ben and the little folks there reeling it in. They did really well.
They did.
First to get to the puzzle. And Jessica and Dr. Mike started working on that puzzle. They had a big lead.
I felt at times, I don't know if obviously he was annoying her because she was like, you worked out on that end, or
Yeah, I don't know.
if
It
she was
seemed like
just
you were.
intense for the challenge, or
That seemed to me like you were reading. You were kind of projecting that onto her. I didn't.
you thought she wasn't.
We've watched
kinda
it
rude?
twice now because we went back and just did a quick watch on the challenges, and
Like, go work on that end.
it just seemed like being in the challenge.
Okay,
There's
so
a
you
certain
didn't-
amount of energy you're going to have when you're frantic and you're trying to get done, and so I didn't get a negative vibe off. It wasn't like it was
Even when he
correctional.
smashed her fingers.
Well,
That-
that hurt,
Ooh, that
and he
hurts.
was quick to apologize. So, but that kind of stuff's going to happen when
Yep.
you're all amped up like that. So it just seemed like she was amped up. I didn't see it as
Okay.
she was, coming down on him or cracking the whip or anything.
And the blue is still tangled in the rope at this point. It's like they're still.
They had a lot of
tangled
trouble.
in
Yeah.
the rope.
Yeah, we were talking about that from at least the couple times we looked at it. It didn't seem like they even got to work on the puzzle, right?
I don't think they did, no.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever even pulled it in.
How about
Did
that,
they,
Chrissy? Chrissy, Allie, working quickly. They were catching up. Really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they did really, really quickly, it looked like anyway.
Now, did you think Chrissy was bossy in how she was speaking to him? She's
No.
like, "Wow, that doesn't go there."
Nope.
See, I
Not
didn't
at
see
all.
it. I didn't see it as different from what Jessica was doing necessarily. So, be curious to see what other people
Yeah.
read into
'Cause
that.
I did. I thought there was a little more in it with Jessica than Chrissy's directing.
Gotcha. All right, so the red team ends up winning, and it's an all or nothing, winner take all. So they got the
Yeah.
peanut butter and jelly bonanza.
I thought when I saw those little sandwich bags, I thought, oh, that's for the people that come in second. They just get a little lunch bag.
That's what you initially
instead of
thought when you saw
all
the
the other
picture.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Well, as we
okay.
all are wont to do, we start inventing stories based on what little
True.
information we have. And this was one
That's
of those
true.
episodes, not unlike the very first one, although there was very, very little. There was less to know about this episode than there was the very first episode for sure going in.
This is the first time, though, maybe ever, that my kind of theory actually
you weren't
worked.
even close.
I was too.
You got the result, but your theory wasn't even remotely close, and you can't be claiming that. There's nobody that...
I said the most annoying two people. I didn't know they were going to be on the same tribe.
All right.
But bonus for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, who's the most two annoying people in the game for me? And that was Alan and Joe.
Yep.
And I thought, well, Joe has an idol.
There's going to be plenty of time for you to pat yourself on the back and for me to commend you also on your result.
I'm not patting myself on the back, but
Let the record show we arrived
happy.
there just a little after 11 minutes into our recap.
I am happy that I got a
She
vote
held
off
off that
point.
long.
I know. I got a vote off point.
All right.
When was the last time that happened?
We made it to the award challenge, not the immunity, but there you have it. You did great, hon. Good job.
I know it.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
And Allie informs us that the game has stepped up a level at this point in a quick confessional before we jump to the next section.
And Ben is excited that his tribe can work well together, even though he's nervous about not.
Being a onesie.
Yeah,
Yep.
being a onesie.
Having a hit the reset button, a do-over happening on him.
He does not like having the target on his back.
So my big questions at this point were, okay, you got Joe, who knows where they found the first hidden immunity idol,
Yeah.
right?
And you
Headed to
got
the blue
Cole,
camp.
Who knows?
So is Joe going to end up with two? I'm wondering at this point. I'm just looking at my notes, and Cole, is he going to end up with an opportunity to get one of his own? Yeah, since he's at a new camp. And, well, since nothing came of it, I guess we can go ahead and mention that, right?
Yeah, sure. We didn't see either one look for it, but that doesn't mean they haven't.
Right.
There was enough going on in this episode that to entertain us with.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Were you surprised? I just didn't even enter my mind about another advantage, so I wasn't even thinking
I was surprised.
that.
This episode was jam-packed with surprises for me.
Yeah, I was surprised. And Jessica chose her bag first.
Yep.
And kind of took the one up
It's interesting.
front.
Lauren might have been kicking herself a little bit watching that tonight.
She offered it.
Yeah.
If I had just taken a bag and not offered
taken
it.
one first, I might have had that. Yeah.
That's right.
But whatever.
Again, luck
It's an
plays a
interesting
part.
interesting option the way that they've tweaked it. I'll be curious to see what the other super fans think about the choice for how this secret advantage worked as a block. And with this added dimension that you can block across tribes if your tribe doesn't end up being the one that goes to tribal council. So if Jessica's tribe doesn't go, she can still pick someone's vote to block.
Did not see it that way. I thought she would give it to someone
who could choose someone over there that they could block. Yeah.
Yes, I totally, again,
we missed
like
it
you
first
said,
time through. Yeah.
Blindside.
Yeah, there's lots of surprises.
I was like,
didn't know how the tribes are going to play out. Didn't see another secret advantage coming. Yeah.
Never interpreted it that way at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
just it was a bonanza of surprises too.
But because I thought she would send it over to Desi, since they know
Desi
Joe
could
has
pick
an idol,
someone's vote
and
to
so
block.
Desi would.
Yeah, but it didn't work that way.
Safe, so.
Right. Turns out it doesn't work that way. So
okay.
Jessica discreetly gets the secret, although she's worried that she's shown her hand by staring at it for so long.
And do you think it was a mistake for her to tell Cole and Mike?
That's a nice soft pitch right down the middle, huh? All right, I'll just knock that one out of the park. Yeah. No, you take a big swing at that and crack it right over the fence, over the wall. It was a mistake. She hadn't learned her lesson yet. She's going to give Cole some more opportunities to disappoint her.
I actually didn't think she would tell. I thought we'd see the difference, how Cole ran and told her, but she wouldn't go tell him.
Mm-hmm.
But then she told him, so I was wrong about that.
Yeah.
But and Mike, which now that
and
did
Mike.
Surprise me.
Yeah. So we've been curious where Mike stood in all this and in his tribe. Of course, they need him more now.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's the third.
Yeah. I'm not surprised if she was going to tell Cole then to go ahead and bring Mike in, because they need the majority and not have him, because they were telling us he was on the bottom in their tribe, so he has no reason to stay loyal.
And Cole, he's just tickled pink. He's smiling ear to ear, big old grin.
Yeah.
He tells us, well, this is fantastic.
And
this
she
is
told me
survivor currency, and this will make me more trustworthy. I know how this works. I've used this multiple times now to great advantage. So I'll go tell Ben, and then I'll tell Lauren.
Yeah.
I like how Lauren was suspicious. Lauren used the word
Loved
supposedly.
Yes.
Jessica has this advantage.
I really liked that about Lauren.
Yeah,
she didn't take it at face value.
Right. She got a much more positive edit through this episode. So it's like her stock is rising for sure. I thought she might have that same difficulty fitting in again, but we don't see that happening in this case.
And went right into trying to utilize it for her own good. Mm-hmm. And even though Mike did know, even though he did a good job of pretending he didn't. But
okay, we'll come back to that. So we're over at the Yellow Tribe.
And Roark is the solo healer on her team.
Mm-hmm. She's worried. Odd one out.
She should be worried.
And then we get to see a great little moment between Ryan and Chrissy.
Yes.
Where he confesses that he's the one who sent her the super idol.
Okay, now when she first said, that just makes me feel so loved, I thought, good response, Chrissy. She really playing the game. And then they flip over to a confessional, and I thought, oh, she really meant that.
She meant that. That was genuine.
It's like, oh, okay.
To the point that it made her ponder, what was it about me that brought such love to me? What did he see on the boat? And I thought,
he could tell I was such a good person.
Hey, Goofy. I think it was when you were down on all fours or laying on your belly puking through the boards at the first challenge, and he took pity on you. Hey, but to Ryan's credit, he just rolled right with it. He said,
sure
absolutely. You're someone I wanted to play with.
I thought he handled it beautifully.
Oh, he was fantastic. Well, yeah,
he just
and it's a great example of mirroring. He mirrored back her sort of emotional state, her response, and it was all positive. And
tonight, I really loved my USB.
You did, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe it was all genuine, and he wasn't even thinking about her Ralphing at the end of the first challenge there. So, yep.
I guess I'm a little too skeptical after all the years of Survivor.
Tad bit jaded, yeah.
I totally thought she was just playing the game, putting it on.
Yeah, because we expect her to be really savvy. Yeah, and that's a great way to.
The joke was on
That's
me.
totally worth the risk to put that out there and to frame it that way if you're doing it in a strategic way.
Okay, and then we find out that Desi wants to work with Devon.
Yep, because Devon's in the swing position.
That's right. And Ashley really didn't want Alan on her tribe, but that's the hand she was dealt.
So
she's dealing with it.
They quash their beef and put that to rest.
Yeah.
Agree to focus on getting Devon on board so they'll have the majority.
Yep.
But Desi and Joe got plans too. And so Joe tries his lie. And
I was impressed with Devon that he went, and that he said later, when he was telling me all that, he sounded like a car salesman.
Used car salesman, he said.
I thought, okay. So he's got some good instincts.
Yeah, it did look like Devon had a good sense for that, although he could just have no idea for what was coming. Turns out there's one person on this tribe that's playing at a level, like multiple levels above and beyond the other four.
Okay. Are you going to explain yourself?
Well, it'll become apparent as we continue through the recap.
Okay. We're not there yet, y'all. Okay, day 10, Yawa tribe. Lauren notices that Cole and Jessica just do everything together.
Yeah, so
just always together.
She's putting that out there for Dr. Mike. Yep.
So once Lauren spills the beans to Mike, he runs right to Jessica.
He played that really. We need to give him credit for
he did play that.
He cold played that really nice.
Yes.
He didn't seem to let on that he actually knew at all. So I want to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
I don't think she doubted him. Yeah.
So
because they don't know enough to know what his tells are. And he gets to hide behind those dirty glasses a little bit too, right?
Yep.
And he had the blank face, so he was doing that well. He's like, where's this going? What's she saying? And, oh, okay. But, yeah, he knew for sure that Cole just can't keep his mouth shut.
And then he denied it and kind of trenched himself in just a little bit. And then he comes back and goes, well, I told Ben. It's like,
so he lied to her twice.
Flat out lied because you told her.
First he said, nope, didn't tell. And then he said, well,
I told
Ben.
I just mentioned it to Ben.
But you clearly see in the episode he tells
it.
Ben, yeah, because I thought it would win trust. So he's trying to explain it to her.
Yeah,
but that was a good opportunity for her to see what he looked like and how he managed telling a lie. And it seemed like it looked like she handled it. I know this is probably the editing, but I thought, that's perfect. Just don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Be quiet. Be quiet. And then he's going to have to tell you. He can't take the quiet. So I thought she managed that well. And yeah, he blurts it out, but it's another lie.
She turned it inward.
That was disappointing to see. Yeah.
He hurt me. He burned me down.
What could I have done to have merited being hurt like that? That mentality, not healthy. Is it my fault? Yeah.
Is it your fault that Cole told you?
What did I do to cause Cole to hurt me?
Yeah.
Jeez, Jessica.
Okay. Enough said.
Go back to being touched by an angel. I like that part of you better.
Yeah, that was good.
Community challenge. Yes.
That was a large crate. I bet that sucker was so heavy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I totally spaced listen for the Foo Fighter Easter eggs.
Oh.
And what Probst was saying. I got so caught up into it. So we got an email.
You just now realized?
Yeah. I remember thinking coming in, well, okay, let's see, there's the name of the challenge is one of them, I bet. And then what else is he going to say? The challenge went completely out of my head. I was totally in the challenge and didn't listen for anything associated with the Foo Fighters.
I never gave it a thought.
So we got an email this afternoon. It was late this afternoon from CBS, and they said, hey, there's going to be some Easter eggs in the immunity challenge, and they're all in reference to the Foo Fighters. Yeah, 6 Easter eggs, 6 references to Foo Fighter songs, and I think there's going to be a video they put out where they go back and show you where they all are. And then I of course completely blanked it. Oh well, didn't get to have as much fun with that, but I liked hearing that they were doing something like that.
I guess later.
That's not a bad cross marketing kind of thing. That's real soft. That's
so we posted it on the Facebook page,
and it was out there, and it was out there in the Survivor tweets too. I noticed when I was checking on it.
But, it was only like a couple hours before the episode aired, I think. So,
yeah.
When they sent out the notices. But
on the East Coast, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, they've got to get this crate over and run it through that little maze type thing. And
table obstacle,
get the pieces off of there.
Easy to get hurt there, huh? Several people were getting banged up. And,
yeah.
Yep, Devon got whacked or walked into it. Yeah, and the whole crate ends up on Ashley's hand for that tribe at one point. Lauren did really good on the keys.
Well, I got to agree with Ashley somewhat in that there's a lot of luck to that if you grab the
It's always
right
luck with the keys when with a lock when you've got a ring of keys.
Exactly.
You start in the wrong place, and for her, it turned out to be the very last key for the second lock. So they just kept falling farther and farther behind at that point. Yeah.
But again,
not as bad as the award challenge.
Lost the first 2 challenges.
Yeah.
So somehow they don't have it together.
Yeah, the Red Tribe just did really well getting through all the obstacles and just fantastic.
Yeah, they did. They were awesome.
And Chrissy did really good for Yellow, getting them through the locks, and then getting started on the puzzle and all that.
And they all seemed to work pretty good together, and they were hustling.
Yeah.
Move this here, move that there. This doesn't work. What are we going to do? And they were all working the puzzle, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The whole
Everybody
group
was helping out,
so that
looking at it.
It was really kind of cool to see them work together that way.
Mm-hmm.
And Blue never
Big
really
physical puzzle to solve too.
Puzzle, did they? Did they ever really start?
That was the award challenge in the immunity challenge. Yes.
They did start the puzzle.
Yeah, they absolutely were working on the puzzle.
Who was
like Devon
out?
At one point said, "I'm lost."
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Right.
Now.
He was struggling.
You're right.
And Alan was racing around, and they were flipping pieces and trying to get there, but.
Yeah.
And Probst even said it's neck and neck, Blue versus Yellow, right at the end.
Oh, yeah.
For the second part, but Yellow pulled it out.
But who was leading? Was there someone calling out and kind of like Chrissy was doing, kind of standing at the end going, no, that doesn't work? Or was there someone on Blue Tribe that was doing that?
I don't recall anyone being featured as
Yeah, I don't either.
primarily focusing on that.
Okay, we'll have to go back and look for that. So, red wins, yellow comes in second, blue loses. Ashley is quick to tell everyone, well, those keys are just luck.
Yes,
I'm sure she didn't.
Jessica's got an opportunity to disrupt everything with a special advantage in the boat block, and you and I still weren't clear at this point. And that challenge took place on day 11, so this was a 3-day cycle.
Yeah. So Ashley goes off with Devon, and he finds out that she didn't tell Joe that. Yeah, and
he believes Ashley.
And he believes her.
He chooses to believe Ashley.
He's like, okay, well, she sounds
It's a tough position
sincere.
to be in. You definitely got to go with your gut in situations like that.
Who was the better liar? And Ashley told the truth, and I think that just came through. Whereas Joe was a little suspect.
Joe just seems like he's got a shady vibe to him anyway, and I think that's what Devon was picking up on. Just for whatever reason, that's how he comes across as a Jabbick.
And that's where he gives us the title of the show.
Yep.
And tells us Joe is a snake.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe's got to be sure that they vote for him. He's really thinking this through and planning it out. And
I just wanted to, right before that, Desi, we got to see, I want to give Desi something, right? Because she's talking to Joe, and she said, you know what? I just saw Ashley and Devon talking, and they hugged afterwards. So I think we got a problem.
Yeah.
So good on Desi. She had good situational awareness, picked up on that. Yep, and that leads into Joe going, okay, I got this. I got a plan. I'm going to draw their fire.
Everybody to vote for me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to... So maybe he had shared openly that he had an idol. You think anybody told him? Cole told?
He did tell Desi.
I know, but I'm saying Desi already knew.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, do you think she told Joe about Cole telling them?
No, I don't know that Desi's too keen on being, stuck with Joe. So
no.
And she became less and less keen as this event that you were about to describe went down when Joe decides, okay, I'm going to get them. I'm going to draw their fire.
So was it a good thing for Joe to
wind up
call
Alan?
Out Ashley? Say,
yeah,
I'm voting
sure.
Ashley.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, he started, he lit the fire. He started with Alan because he knew there was some tinder, some kindling there that he could spark and get it going. And when Alan started to get fired up and kept pushing, it was just like Alan just kept walking right through the doors, right into every trap Joe set for him in that verbal exchange. And he had an answer ready. Well, yeah, I'm going to vote for Ashley.
Yeah, and Alan stated, well, I'm not voting for Ashley or Devon.
Mm-hmm.
So, hello. Guess you see where we're headed with this.
The part that Joe missed was that he put a big target on Desi.
Yep. Threw her under the bus.
And she explains that. It actually brought her to tears in the quick confessional we saw with her. Just really rattled her bad. She's like, she was really in fear that her game was over at that point because he had drawn all that attention. But instead of it being solely on him, it included Desi, because if it's Ashley, then we'll focus on Desi. So it was like a turnabout fair play kind of thing going on there.
I like Desi for saying, give me the idol, and I'll be behind you for the rest of the game.
Sure.
Show me.
Right.
Give me the
Prove
idol.
It. Right. Show
like,
me the money. Yep.
And he acted like whether he would or not, if he thought it was the best judgment. I don't know for sure if he was telling the truth or not. He seemed to be, but that he would play it.
I think regardless, what he said was the right answer.
Yes.
Regardless of what his true intent was, he responded exactly as he needed to keep her as close as he could, given that she doesn't really want to be close.
Well, then, here comes the other shock. Jess gave the advantage to Devon. I was like, Devon? You gave it to Devon?
Because we weren't thinking about all this correctly.
Thought, why would you give it to Devon to have power over, your tribe mates, Desi and Joe? And so I just didn't understand that.
That was our first clue that we were,
we were thinking
incorrectly.
Erroneously.
Yes.
About how this was
Devon ends up
out.
with the secret advantage, but he can't figure out what it is until he gets to tribal.
And,
but he's convinced that he has all the power. He's a swing vote, and this thing says it's an advantage, so it must be an advantage.
And they leave it hanging with Ashley and Alan saying, well, we got to pick one, Joe or Desi. They both could have an idol.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know which one to do. Tribal Council.
Set up some good drama for the Tribal Council.
Jeff says Alan has a look of disgust on his face already.
Whoa. Joe and Desi have to get fired because this is their first time at Tribal Council.
Okay.
Which is just a reminder that there's some other folks that still haven't gone yet.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yep. It's a tough start for Alan. Yep. And he's got disgust on his face. Probst notices.
And so he tells, what
About
was
Joe.
going on. And Joe says, well, I just wanted to discuss the vote. And he said Ashley. So
beware people who say I just.
There. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Desi it says, hey, I got thrown under the bus in the process.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't okay with me. But Joe says, well, at least I found out that Alan does support Ashley. So he got information.
Mm-hmm.
And Probst, of course, points out the obvious that, Devon's not in danger. He's actually the swing vote. Because they could have just said, we'll just vote Devon out and then we'll go head to head. But that's not what they wanted to do. And Devon's so much nicer than some of the other people.
I liked some of the exchanges here back and forth, too. Alan's talking about Joe hanging on by his fingers as he loses his grip and falls off the cliff. Wow, little did any of us know how this was going to go down.
And Joe's basically talking to Devon saying, you can't penetrate the heroes. If you go with them, you can't penetrate them.
Devon's answer, classic, right? As long as it's not me, what's good for me? Just a variation on that.
Yeah, every tribal council, it'll be what's best for me.
Mm-hmm.
And at least Alan came back and pointed out, hey, the healers never lost. There's more healers
where the numbers
in this
are.
game.
Yeah.
And I thought, I didn't expect that from Alan. But
nope.
He was tracking that, so okay.
Yeah. I had been concerned that he had given up, that he was leaning towards the quit, but we saw an Alan that fought to the end in this case.
Yeah, that was good.
So, yeah.
And then blindside number 1 at Tribal Council.
Yeah, really, huh?
It's like Devon's like, I
have a secret
takes
advantage.
Takes it out, reads it. I didn't realize he hadn't read it.
Well, that's what it said.
The whole thing.
You can only read it at Tribal Council.
I know, but for some reason I lost that somewhere. And I thought, wait a minute. Read it Tribal Council.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway, I was so shocked by that, I had trouble moving away.
But you weren't as shocked as Devon was.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like
he was just downtrodden completely at that point. He's like, wait, I don't even get to vote?
This isn't an advantage, Jeff. It says secret advantage.
Yeah, he's like, this ain't
but
right.
It's not my advantage.
It's not fair. Right.
So I thought, she still got to block a vote.
Okay, so they go vote and they come back. The drama's building. I'm thinking, wait, is Joe not going to play it? Joe's going to play it. They're just drawing this out a little. Sure enough, he brings the hidden immunity idol out and goes up to play it, and then has to get
hands it back to him.
Has to get clarity. Well, he has to verify that it is indeed
verified it, but handed
authentic.
It back.
Yeah, because Joe hadn't decided what he was doing with it, which is the next step. And he said, I can play it for me or someone else, right? And Joe's been watching faces all through Tribal Council, and he's been trying to decide which way he's going to play this, it seems like, right? That's how it plays out.
He could read who they voted for.
Right, so he plays it for himself, and sure enough, the votes start coming in.
He read it right on.
He chose well, as they would say in Indiana Jones. He chose well. Yep, so two votes come in for Joe, does not count, and then 2 for Alan, and it's bye-bye. Bye-bye, Alan.
And Joanne got a vote off point.
You did.
Woo-hoo.
We got a high five going for you at that point, so you did excellent.
Yeah, in the worst week where you really had no clue.
Yeah. Well, there's no way to see it. This sequence of events.
I can't take much credit for that.
That's
kind of an accident, but okay.
So
I'll take it anyway.
If you like going in without a clue, this was a great week and a great episode for sure.
Yes, it was.
Wow, Joe just really, I got to say I'm impressed. I'm not like a fan of Joe. Not going to be cheering for Joe, but I got to acknowledge that Joe played levels above his new tribe.
I think you're giving him a little much credit.
He took a huge risk.
He did.
And it almost backfired. It some collateral damage hit
He took a
Desi.
little risk. I wouldn't call it a huge. A huge risk would have been giving it to Desi, which would have been stupid because then he would have gone home.
I got to think he was open to that. He was watching. He was trying to make the read, and he told Ashley, "I read your face." That's what he says to her. I read your face.
That we
and he
will
said
never
the same
know
thing
for sure.
Right. That's We can ask him at some point, but yeah. And he tells Desi, "I was reading their faces, Desi. I made the right call."
Well, that's easy to say after the fact.
Yeah, and you should.
But okay.
Why not make the most of that?
Well.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving him as much accolades as you are. Just saying.
Okay, fine. But that's some next level play.
And Prope's words of wisdom, you can have all the plans you want, but the survivor gods don't care.
Yeah. So double whammy and bye-bye, Alan.
All right.
Next time on Survivor?
Everybody's got to get dirty if they want to win.
Got to be willing.
Be ruthless.
Be ruthless and be willing to take on big risks. Where Ashley tells us that her and Devon are going to pull rocks because they got a 2-2 situation.
You're going to a tie. And I thought, that makes me think, no, you could go home.
Yeah, well.
Why would Devon do that?
Joe knows where to look for clues. Mm-hmm. So if there's a hidden immunity idol on your beach, you're at a disadvantage.
True. And nobody knows for sure because nobody knows who found what.
Right.
But I bet you Joe looks.
Well, and if you find the clue, you got reason to believe that it's still there.
Yep. Well, and Alan was really a good sport. They played a good game, sport, right? And they got me.
Yeah. He acknowledged it in the end. I thought he was. Yeah. Seemed to go.
So I appreciate
Seemed to handle it really well.
That he did that.
Great contrast to Patrick from last week.
Patrick was just gut reaction. Oh,
he was really
horrible.
Really bitter initially.
Well, yeah, he was so convinced that he was going nowhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
So
although he did think enough to carry his clothes with him, didn't he?
Yes, he did take his clothes with him. He said he was not going to do what Simone did. Wasn't even going to take the chance.
Leave it for those vultures.
Leave his clothes for them to go through.
Yeah. What did you think of the episode as a whole?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was exciting and kept me up and down and going, huh?
Guessing.
What?
And, plus, we got turned around and got confused. So
that too.
I enjoyed it a lot. For a week 4, episode 4, I think that was a fantastic episode.
I do too.
And it's going to be interesting to see how these tribes play out. We got a lot of interesting social dynamics already at work quickly, and I think it's going to be a blast to watch as we head into either the 2 tribes or emerge, depending on how long they hold this.
That was my next question. Do you think that they will go to 2 tribes, or will they just go to emerge at some point?
So they just went to 14, right?
Tonight, yes.
Yeah. So this would have been prime
for going to 2 tribes.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't think they'll do.
So then you'll go to 13
that quickly.
And then are they really going to do 2 tribes of 6 for 1 week?
I wouldn't think so, unless it's the week somebody goes home and they do one of those. Okay, you go to whichever tribe loses and someone goes home.
Right.
So that would put them at 12.
Mm-hmm.
So when there's still 13 left in the game.
If blue gets ground out, yeah.
Yeah. But that's usually when they just go to merge, period. So where would they go to 2 tribes? I don't know. That seems kind of, unless they take it way down and have a small jury this year or something. So I'm not quite sure what they're going to do.
And I don't think they want small juries. They like this new jury format, so they want to have a nice jury pool for each of those folks to get up there, and they'll have a lot to choose from for the finale. So what
if they went to 2 tribes? They have 1 more week, so they're at 14 now. They go 1 more week, and they send somebody home. Then the following week, when there's
shuffle again to 2, you're saying?
Shuffle to 2, and they could still send people to the jury if they wanted. They wanted to start at 13, but they have less people, so they might go down to 11.
Yeah, I don't know. In any case, episode 4 has got to be one of the better episode 4s that we've had in a season.
Yeah,
you can get lulls at this point as you're working through. You look at it and you go, okay, so Katrina was unfortunately out of her element. Simone was way, way out of her element. Patrick has challenges fitting in for sure. Alan's been struggling. It's like some of these people who had the biggest challenge making it work in the context of the game are moving out, and that often happens in the early progression. The people who can play a more sophisticated, educated game work through these newbies that, they'll grind the noobs like this out, and we're effectively seeing that.
Yeah.
At this point. And even though Joe hadn't played before, he's definitely playing a game above most of these folks. And you got to see it with at least how the edit played out. That's what it looked like to me. So it's tough for Alan to square off against someone like Joe, who was ready to play at a totally different level.
Okay, so I really haven't.
The fact it's like a role reversal, right? Like if Joe had tried to go in and play in the NFL with Alan, this is a bit of a stretch, right? But Alan coming in trying to play Survivor with Joe, who's more of a student or more willing to play the whole game, he just got schooled.
I know that I'm not the only one that finds Joe annoying. So what I'm wondering, since you were so giving him the accolades tonight, could he change those of us who really don't care for him? Could he change our minds?
Oh, absolutely.
With his
I'm sure he did
gameplay?
tonight. Yeah, there's going to be loads of people. And everybody comes at the game with a different perspective.
He wasn't as annoying for me to watch tonight. I will say that.
And it's just like...
and that he was trying to work with Desi, I liked.
It was Drew that was talking about this, how much the edit affects you. And we've talked about it a lot here on the podcast over the years.
And that's very
how
true.
much it can influence your perception. I've watched you roller coaster on different castaways. You're like, you're up, you're down. And the editors just sort of guide us from A to B. Wherever they want to take us, we'll follow along. I do it too.
So you're saying I'm
All of
malleable.
us do it. All of us do it to some degree. Right, I'm obviously doing it, playing into some of that with Joe, probably.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it builds into our emotional.
Yeah, you have what you have in the way of information. It's a short, brief window into everything that's happened in that 3-day cycle.
Well, and especially right after it airs. Before you have time to really look at it, digest it, think about it, and all of that. You're just going off of reactions.
Or to have a broader period of time to look at it and go, oh,
Right.
The editor set us up for that.
Said, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, but
Well, I have to say
I
they
enjoyed it.
edited very well tonight, in my opinion.
I enjoyed
They
the surprises.
Kept me on my toes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find out how many people thought it was predictable. Okay, moving on. How about a JSFL update?
DSR is in first with 21 points. 15 people lost their USB 24. 77 people lost a safe point. Did you lose a safe point?
No. These are tough ones. I don't play bold
I went
on the
very
complete unknowns,
safe in my
except
opinion
the first episode.
on my safe
Yeah.
picks. And
So Alan was
60
considered at risk for me, so I stayed away
yeah,
from him.
67 people gained a vote-off point.
Yay.
And the side challengers, Jody's in the lead with 19. Nina right behind at 18.
Okay.
With 17, we have Brandon, Jeremiah, and Parker. With 16, Cold Mike, Drew, Kitty Cat, and Rick. 15, we have Iron Dave, Jonathan, and Stacy.
Yep, the ascension has begun.
And with 14, James and Shannon.
Okay. All right.
So we have a clear top and bottom team this time. So.
Yep. Still shifting around.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody's game right now.
Throughout, right to the last episode where all the major points come in at.
Yeah, sometimes in the middle.
Man.
There's different points where things can become, where you can have a better shot at trying to suss out what's going on.
Yeah, but it all depends on your final choice.
We were watching the next time on Survivor, looking for clues, hoping for Marla that there might be an indication that they could get their bathing suits, but it doesn't seem like it in the brief,
next on,
in
what
the 30
little bit we
seconds that
got,
they gave
didn't
us.
see any swimsuits.
Definitely didn't have them. Yeah, because it wasn't. That's the thing. We hadn't had a water challenge in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, but
so.
they had water challenges in
But they
the
don't
first
give swimsuits that early because
they
it's
should.
Survivor.
Should.
No, you've been shipwrecked.
Should,
You're making
should.
do with what you have.
Swimsuits already.
That's just part of the That's the history of the show.
Yeah. Well, we only saw...
Unless it's a returnees.
Yeah.
In which case, some of them must negotiate for it early.
They, that challenge looked brutal next week. But I bet you think that's reward?
Where your hands and feet are tied?
Oh.
And you've got to roll a ball up a sand hill with your head?
I would not do well with that at all.
Yeah, well, we've seen a variation on that where they end up with their face down in the sand like that. It can, in the hot sand too, it can be pretty overwhelming.
Yeah,
and we know from some of the previous interviews that we've done that can be scary for some of the castaways.
Yeah, and they have to go uphill.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't look like fun to me.
You gotta bonk it.
Definitely, that wasn't a water challenge. So
Right.
unless there's an immunity water challenge,
You're thinking that's reward? Okay.
Then
So you're
just saying
framing
we
it
only
that
saw
way to
one.
hold that hope for Marla that maybe there'll be
that they might
immunity,
get their
that the community
swimsuits.
challenge will be water based. I
They
see.
might get their swimsuits.
Okay, good deal.
Okay.
Well, we certainly look forward to hearing what you thought about episode 4. We've laid out the broad strokes. No need for you to recap. You can get right down to brass tacks and the specifics for what you saw and how you think the shuffle is going to end up affecting the game and what we can expect next. The voicemail line, 206-350-1547. There's a toll-free version, 844-643-8737. The email, joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. You can always find these at getsfp.com. Keep your feedback in 3-minute range, whether you record it yourself, call the voicemail, or write it up, and then we'll get that all put together on Saturday and get that out there. I'm really looking forward to hearing other people's thoughts about episode 4, and maybe we'll gain some new insights in our interview with Alan tomorrow. We'll see. We'll get started on those questions right now.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Have a good one.